everyone, welcome back to a game which was played in between Grandmaster Praggnanandhaa and GM Magnus Carlsen. Praggnanandhaa started with standard e4 and Magnus, who is black, replied with e5 and f3 and c6, bishop b5, pawn push, counter attacking the e4 pawn. Pragg defends it. Now bishop c5, pawn, bishop is being attacked, he moves one square back, attacks the knight, pawn push, attacking the bishop, bishop h4, and simply bishop goes back. Pragg plays a4 because takes, Pragg will have open file, and Magnus realized that his rook is undefended, so he moves it, takes, and knight comes an attack. Here you can go for b4, but that's not so good idea. First Magnus pushes the pawn, attacking the bishop. Knight comes, his idea is to push the b4 pawn, and after pawn takes, or first he can play c5 pawn and then b4. Bishop goes back, pawn push, takes, knight goes back. Now pinning the knight, bishop defends. Here if Pragg wanted, he can take and get an extra pawn, but instead he played knight c4. He said, I don't want this pawn, because it was double pawns. So bishop takes, knight takes, castle, and he takes the bishop. Here Pragg's idea is he wanted to play d4. He can't play it instantly because of this bishop. So first he eliminated the bishop, and now he pushed. Knight goes back, attacking it, rook c1, takes, and knight to c5. Here don't go for b4 immediately, because see this knight on b3 will do a fork. Here if Pragg wanted to draw this game, so he could have easily taken this knight on c5, pawn takes, queen, rook takes, and bishop takes this pawn. Rook defends, you take one of the rook, and then this game will be draw, the rook endgame. But Pragg didn't go for that. He said, I will fight. Rook to d1, that's Pragg style. Queen goes back, pawn to f4, opening the side, king side. b4, rook back, that is Magnus style. He wants just to connect the rooks. f5, attacking the knight. Now see this e5 square is very powerful because no one can attack it. So Magnus would like to come on d8, f7, and then on d5. His pawn structure is also nice. He goes knight d8, rook comes here. Pragg's idea is rook c1 or rook c4 and just attack this c7 pawn. Magnus plays knight f7, rook attacks, defense, attack. Now here you have three options with this f8 rook. First, you just defend it normally, go to c8 and just defend your pawn, or play rook b8. Here you are attacking his pawn, takes, and then you can have his pawn with your other rook sitting on b8. Or you can simply go for a8, coming in his territory and just attack the king. I don't think Magnus will go for that, and Magnus plays rook b8, h4, opening up, takes. Queen has been traded. Now it's bishop versus knight, rook versus rook, and 3 pawns for both the players. Rook attacks, pawn push, king moves. See guys, here if you directly take this free pawn, then rook b8 check. I'll just show you. If you take this free pawn, check, king moves anywhere, here or here, then this is a fork, king has to move and you take the bishop. That's why you can't take that bishop immediately. So rook e7, on push, king moves, takes, bishop takes. And here you might be thinking like, are of the best moves knight d3 or knight f, not f3, pawn is attacking. So knight d3 is most common reply. You'll not go over here. This square is also not so active because you're not active, and this square you are blocking the rook from pawn supporting. So the best square was knight d3, but Magnus played knight to g4, and this is a blunder. Can you tell me why? I give you 5 seconds to think and tell the best move for Praggnanandhaa. Yes, if you got this move, you are a genius player. It is rook to g7, forking the king and the knight. King moves anywhere, you take the knight. Magnus realizes his mistake and resigns on the spot. Thank you everyone for watching this game, the 41 move long game. Praggnanandhaa beats the world champion for the second time because Magnus did a silly blunder. He didn't notice the rook coming on g7, and that's why he lost. Thank you everyone. Bye for now. See you in the next game.